Good afternoon, everyone. Jared here with Day Traders FX. I hope you're having a great day. We finally have seen some fantastic movements in the charts. We're going to go right to it. You can see we've had some pretty positive days so far in the U.S. markets, and finally we're seeing a little bit of a down day in the Dow, a little bit of a down day in the S&P. Not huge. Definitely by no means is it a huge down day, but enough to really get the dollar scooting like crazy. So we're going to look at that and have a peek there. We've seen a lot of news today. We had unemployment claims that came out a little bit better than expected. We had no change really in the UK news. And then coming out later on today, we have the Australian monetary policy statement. That should get things moving just a little bit. Remember that tomorrow we have Bernanke speaking in the morning. We have Canadian unemployment numbers. We have a whole bunch of that stuff going on. So it should be an active morning tomorrow. We'll have a look at all of that. Let's go right to the charts. Okay, so here's the look at the euro dollar. We've talked about some of these movements here. We talked about buying the break above 130, 130, and we got that up there. But so far, the euro dollar has been doing a very good job staying, below this descending trend line, but staying inside of this channel, and we have finally made a break out of this channel. After over a month, it is finally breaking out of this channel, and it looks like we might get some moves down. Of course, big things that we're looking at are going to be closes below the 200-day moving average on the 4-hour chart and close below the 200 moving average on the daily chart. And we're just back down. We tested that daily 200 moving average, and we're just bouncing right off of it. But the fact that we're out of this channel is enough for me to start getting short in the euro dollar. So we've kind of been battling the chop for days and days and days. This euro dollar has been in a total, if you look at it on the monthly or on the daily chart here, basically most of the month of April and a chunk of May so far, it's been in this really sideways channel. It rallied nicely in April, just about 400 pips from low to high, and then it just started going sideways and double topped, and it's starting to head sideways there. So what I'm looking at now is the fact that we are breaking out of this channel, and we should have some nice little movements coming up. What I'd like to see happen, if we can get back up above, you can see our previous weekly low here is around 130.50. If we get back above 130.50, which I think we might be able to do, then I'm going to look to get short around 130.80 with stops above 130.100. And that's getting short against this trend line, against this whole breakout area. I think it's going to be a good spot. So again, I'll be selling around 130.80, 130.90 with stops above 130.100. And even as high as about 131, 2030 there. And I'll be targeting on the bigger, longer term moves down. I think we have at least a minimum target of 129.50. And so that'll be a nice 100 plus pip run. 129.50, but then I think we have a very, very good chance of also reaching 127.50, and I think we'll actually get there. But I think it's going to start somewhere, shorting somewhere just below 130.100 with stops just above 130.100. So again, 130.80, 130.90, 130.100, right around that 20 pip range is where I'll be looking to get short on the euro dollar, just against this big trend line, this big breakout area. And if we don't make it above 130.50, then I may also look at getting in at around 130.50 with stops above 130.80. So that kind of thing. And again, targeting 130 or 129.50 and 127.50 ultimately. Pound dollar has done much of the same thing. The pound dollar for the month of April rallied pretty nicely. We started off with a little bit of a dip, and then this thing took off and finished the month 300 plus pips up, 325, 30 pips up, and then it's just been sideways and chopping around all of May. And May's only, we're only 9 days into May, but it has been a painful, slow, choppy, difficult kind of situation, and it's finally starting to make some significant moves to the downside, and I think we're finally getting that big push down that we were looking for. It's been holding below the 200 moving average, the 50% fib of this big run, and now I'm looking to take this down into, you can see we've got a monthly pivot here, which is around 154. 15, 16 area, and then we've got the bottom of the trend line. So we're going to have a good bit of support down there, but I think the pound dollar is ready for a much larger move down into at least 15200. You can see the lows of the last several weeks at 15200, and I think we're ultimately going to get back into 150 and even into the mid to high 140s for the ultimate long-term target. Now, what I'm looking for in the pound dollar here is, again, you can see kind of some lows and some support that's now resistance here around 154, kind of 65-ish area. If we make it above about 154, 50, 60, then I will be looking to get short at around 154.85 with stops, a bit above 155.00, somewhere in the 155.20, 2030 area. If we can't get above 155.50, then I will probably look to get short around that area, around 155.50, again with stops above about 154.85, 90 area. And then I'll be targeting ultimately 152.00 and then and then 150. 150 even. So I think we'll have some nice little moves there, and we should see some nice activity. So again, I'm feeling pretty good about the fact that a lot of levels that have been holding are finally breaking. In this case, 154.50 was a big one, and we're getting below that, and that's nice. That's great. We're still holding below that big moving average on the daily chart. Everything's looking nice and bearish. So we've just got to get a little bit of retracement. So I want to see things, probably 40 pips higher on the euro dollar and 40 pips higher on the pound dollar. Then we'll look at getting some entries and so on there. Aussie dollar has made a very nice significant break. It has taken a very long, painful time to get there. Here's our weekly chart, and you can see for the past several months the Aussie dollar has not. Well, let's get right down to the specifics here. For the past since about July of 2012, so nearly a year, the Aussie dollar has not gotten below 101.15. Well, what we did today was we finally broke 101.15, which was fantastic and much needed. So we made that break of 101.15 by a pretty good amount. I think we're going to see a little bit of retracement. I'm going to be looking for that retracement. You can see that we hit support 3 on the weekly pivots here, weekly support 3. And so now I'm looking for kind of a similar type situation. I want this Aussie dollar to, I want to look at entering somewhere around 101.25-ish or so short, because I think we're going to be able to make our way up into this resistance area. We'll probably spike just a little bit above that. And so between 101.15 and 101.25 is where I'll be looking to get short on the Aussie dollar to target ultimately, exact parity and even below. I think 97 is still a fair target, 9,700 on the Aussie dollar, so I'll be looking at that for a longer term target. As far as the rest of these go, the yen pairs are getting really crazy. They rally, they pull back, they rally. But the euro yen did break this high here, which was around 130.37, and has made a nice little run. It's made a new high of the last, definitely not all-time high, but of the last couple of years, I think. If we go back here, this is a new high since the last time we were up here was 2010, January of 2010. So we're just bumping into that 200 moving average on the monthly chart, and a lot of stuff going on there. So big run on the euro yen. Watch for some pullbacks and opportunities to enter against 130.37. It has to get down there a good little chunk. Aussie yen tried to make a break here. You can see that it tried to bust up above this trend line and pulled back. So I'll be watching this, above that weekly pivot, and we'll see if we can get some runs higher. But I'm probably staying out of the yen pairs just a little bit. We have some really excellent setups on euro dollar, pound dollar, Aussie dollar that I'm going to focus on for the time being. But those yen pairs will move, so we'll keep an eye on that, and I'll try to update that as much as possible. Best of luck, guys. It's good to see some breakouts, and I think we'll see some very nice opportunities to short some of these bigger movements. So let's get after it, and I'll see you in the chat. Keep an eye on Twitter. Thanks, everyone.